Ooh, welcome back to Amazin But True, our New York Mets podcast from the New York Post. Jake Brown here, alongside my co-host, former Mets pitcher, and I think he did win an Emmy Award back in the day. 2 Emmy Awards, he lets me know. That would be Nelson Figueroa, freshly cut. I'm seeing it in person, the haircut for the first time. It looks solid. You know, there's a couple of, maybe mishaps on the side there, but otherwise, a couple of alfalfa moments, which we've all had, but otherwise it looks good. First time seeing it in studio in our palatial New York Post studios here in Midtown, Manhattan, New York City. Those highlights you heard courtesy, of course, of SNY as the Mets, Figgy, take the series split. We will not have a guest today. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get someone a call. Who knows with this program, but we will have a trip to the Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy. And you remember the show Stump the Schwab with Howie Schwab, a guy who knew his sports trivia? We will do Stump The Baldie, a.k.a. me, on Mets trivia. Producer here, Andrew Harts, will feed me some questions and see if I can get them. But we joked to start the show with some bowling humor as the Mets split with the Dodgers, and Figgy, the New York Mets, have the best record in the National League. Boy, it feels good to be a gangster. It is feeling good right now to have the best record, Figgy. And this is a preview of the playoffs, and it was a series we were all looking forward to because we were thinking this is the NLCS. On paper, this is what the matchup will be. We got a sample, and the Mets were resilient, winning 2 of these 4 games, Figgy. And, it came with a few headaches along the way. But with the injuries and the adversity this team's battled, I think you will gladly, still with an 8.5 game lead, take 2 out of 4.
Without a doubt, you split that series, and especially after you lose the first 2 games with your starters, being of the higher caliber, and then you go off and you have Trevor Williams and David Peterson going back to back.
Just how we wrote it up.
Was shaping up to possibly be ugly. If you lose 3 out of 4, again, that's a barometer check that we keep saying because they are the gold standard, the Dodgers are in the National League. But the Mets, besides being very resilient, they just continue to impress up and down the lineup, playing small ball, understanding that it's not one swing that's going to get them back in a ball game, but several swings. It's passing the baton and having the confidence and the faith that the guy behind you understands his role in this whole thing. And, would you love to see more home runs? Sure. But I am a huge fan of the small ball Mets where they're able to take advantage of what is being given to them. You had a guy like Gratterall who I think he almost doubled his ERA, just facing the Mets in those last 2 games. That's something that doesn't happen every day. A guy who throws 103-mile-an-hour sinkers, and the Mets have a plan. They have an attack for him, which wasn't the Mets last year. They would swing from the edge of their seats and try and hit the ball deep, and they would strike out a ton. This team is different, man, and we've said that from the beginning, and you love to see everybody being able to take part in a victory, and they give props to each other. J.D. Davis's interview after the game, he thanked everybody, I think, from the front office to Buck all the way down to Medina, and saying how nasty he is, and, to step up in that big of a role to bail out Seth Lugo is an incredible moment for the team. And it's something definitely you can continue to build on.
Gratterall was not keeping the Mets up at night, although it did in college for some people. There's one. And then funky, cold Medina. Medina Matata. Hakuna Medina. Hakuna Medina. I like that. Hakuna Medina. Now, that was me getting ready for a rant today. But then, of course, as these 2022 Mets keep on doing, and as Buck Showalter keeps making a mistake and then following it up by not making a mistake or the team backing him up, not using Edwin Diaz there for 6 outs was perplexing to me. SAT word, Jake. Perplexing. 3 syllables. Because, listen, he got through the heart of the order. We were surprised he came in the 8th inning for, the first time. If he's in the 8th inning, he should be staying in for the 9th. Will Smith slapped Seth Lugo in the face, Hollywood style, did it in Hollywood. And Figgy, they end up winning, but what'd you think of that? I thought it was a terrible move. It obviously backfired. On 15 pitches, I thought Diaz, who said after the game he was fine to pitch the 9th. It wasn't an injury thing, wasn't a pitch count thing. It was just Buck Showalter thing. I thought that was a mistake.
Yeah, everything can be a mistake in hindsight, right? If it worked out and Seth Lugo gets the 3rd out where the Dodgers were down to their last pitch, and I was listening to the broadcast while driving home from Long Island, and it wasn't Gary, Keith, and Ron, so it was the Dodgers broadcasters, and they had a different perspective of things. So Taylor's up to bat, and it's a 3-2 count, and the announcer literally says, Tylor is one pitch away. Oh, no, I'm saying Lugo is one pitch away from putting the tying run on. That's how he said it. They're one pitch away from putting the tying run on, rather than being, they're one strike away from this game being over. He had that perspective on it. What happened, of course, he winds up getting on with the double, the 3-2 pitch that he hammers, and they wind up tying the ball game. That's something that just so different about Lugo this year, and as compared to years past. He had been so consistent and somebody that you always wanted to see more of. Now everybody's clamoring for less of Seth Lugo.
Tell me what you saw in the video that you thought was a big reason for why he was been struggling.
The inconsistency to me is since the injury and coming back, he has shortened up his arm path. And what that means is when you get your hands together and you come in the set, you pull your hand out of the glove.
Here's a ball to demonstrate.
It's not even a ball thing. It's just a mechanical thing of how far down you let your arm swing. His normal arm path, if you go back to his 2020 season, 2019 season, big, long arm path that helps to generate speed. It's also a timing mechanism. Now he has a much shorter arm path, and it's not working. The pitches are moving differently on him. They're not staying as true. So his 95, 96, it's still there, but the ball's having run to it now, and there's more movement to it where the ball's going over the plate. That's what happened with Will Smith's pitch, and that's also what happened with the game tying hit to the rookie, where it leaked right back over the plate. It was supposed to be a fastball inside. It's something that was noticeable instantly to me because it looked awkward. I said, that's not the Seth Lugo I know. And I went back and looked at the video on YouTube of 2019, 2020, and he used to have this big, long, fluid motion. And now that he's shortened it up, you're seeing a guy who's struggling with command, because if you look at probably the metrics of it, it's maybe higher spin rate, it may be, the same velocity, and it may feel to him like it's less effort to do it. But the movement is different. The balls are leaking back over the plate. The ball's not staying true, with the backspin staying behind the ball and putting it right where he wants.
So for our video viewers, let's get a demonstration. You can move the mic, just don't knock it over. I want you to stand and show us the arm slot, the kinetic chains of how this works here. This could be a good demonstration here with the mic. There you go.
It's very simple. If you're looking at it, here he is with the baseball. When he pulls his hand out of his glove, normally would go all the way down below his waist. It's a circular motion where you're trying to generate arm speed, but you're storing all that energy as you take it out from behind, and you start to store that energy, and then you make the transfer from front to back. You're trying to throw this baseball and get it on time with the release point out there. Now he's taking the ball out of his glove, and he's only pulling it down about halfway, just pulling his elbow back. So he's just rocking his elbow back, which makes it very short arm action, picks it up by his ear, and it's still 95, 96, but the ball has now some side motion that the ball's running back over the plate, where normally when you have this nice long arm path, when you're on time, you stay behind the ball, and the ball stays truer and spins straighter towards the plate.
Should we be sending that to Jeremy Hefner? Like, is this something that easily is fixable, and how does he fix it?
The point is that he's probably been working on shortening that arm path, because there's a lot of researchers, and one of my good friends who came up with me with the Phillies, he's one of the co-creators of this pocket whip and stick idea and concept. His name is Dave Coggin. He was a first-round draft pick with the Phillies, and he was often injured, and he figured out this way that the way that quarterbacks move their arms. It's more like a quarterback in the pocket when he drops back and he pulls his elbow back to then throw the football. They don't have the big, long arm swing, and they throw the ball just as hard as anybody else. Most quarterbacks have been drafted to play Major League Baseball because they have strong arms, and throwing from a mound or a shortstop, they're 96 miles an hour. The mechanics of throwing a football are a lot more efficient to throwing the ball and getting rid of it on time. And so that's what this transfer has been over the last 2 years, 3 years, I would say, where you're seeing these increases in velocities, but these guys aren't as accurate with their stuff. So you're losing something. You're gaining something, but you're also losing something at the same time. And when you're doing it during a season, it's very difficult to compete that way, because you feel like you're doing everything right, but you see the movement on the ball, and you can see Lugo's reactions to things. Like, he looks like he's confused out there as why the ball is moving so much sideways and not staying as true as before.
Quarterback Jake Plummer will be on next week's podcast. Harts, your favorite player to mention, flushing out the Phillies. And Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't, when you see the video, you notice that. So we'll see if they make adjustments. We'll see if they listen to Amazin But True and take your advice,
I'll
Figgy.
do a little bit more than that. I'll make a phone call.
Yeah, make a phone call, and as long as you get credit on a broadcast or something, as Howie Rose has given you for getting designated for assignment more than who is the pitcher, the terrible Mets pitcher?
Why is he going to be terrible, guy?
Jared Eichhoff. I just had a nightmare again. You gave me less nightmares than Jared Eichhoff.
I would hope
confirm
so.
that.
I would hope so.
But Hakuna Medina, I mean, listen, the picture is cool where he celebrates because his chain is literally over his ear. I love a guy who wears a chain. As someone who wears a chain with my Rainforest Cafe button down that I got at the thrift shop Saturday, one of my favorite purchases now of all time. Love a guy that rocks a chain. He had a chain over his ear. What is Medina good at that can make him a big part of this bullpen? Because the Mets need arms to step up. If Lugo's going to struggle, if guys are going to start to struggle, if they're going to start to expose Drew Smith, a guy like Medina could play an important role, and he did in a game to get a series split on Sunday, and what was just a one-run game because the Mets could have tacked on. They had the unfortunate double play to end the top of that extra inning, but Medina saved the day.
Yeah, what you're hoping for from this is his confidence. He faced the heart of the lineup. Ran through them and did a fantastic job of avoiding hard contact. It's one of those things where a guy who is not well known, he has the advantage. Listen, he throws hard at 95. The movement, which was a very awkward movement, like the ball was moving like a slider, reminded me of Mejia when Mejia first came up to the big leagues, and he went from Double-A right to the big leagues. I remember in spring training, he's throwing these fastballs that are 96, but they don't stay straight. They just had these nasty cutting action movements. You look at that last pitch, it looks like a breaking ball, and it's 95 miles an hour. He misses his target by a whole plate and a half, but all's well that ends well, right? So what you're looking for him is being able to harness this one celebratory save opportunity and hope that we don't see a lot more of them because that means Diaz would be in trouble. And you hope that, Lugo gets his stuff right. And Medina, would he be a huge part? Who knows? But you love the fact that in a season like everything that's happening in 2022, that he is a part of it and at least can be someone that they can rely upon if they need further services down the road. But
you just want him to be a guy that's beyond mop-up duty, really. And if he can do that, that's big. And listen, the Mets still need another arm. We'll keep saying every week they need an arm. There's rumors that catcher-wise, maybe they're in the market for Contreras to the Cubs. I know that's something we've mentioned before. Contreras having a good year. The Mets could use another catcher. We'll see when McCann gets back, but McCann has a hit. I think if you could do it for the right package, a guy who's going to be a free agent. Again, it's only going to be a rental. That's why you don't want to give up a top prospect to get Contreras.
They already have a guy, though.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The word is Alvarez is not coming up this year. There's experts who say he's the best prospect in baseball right now. And if we don't see him this year, it seems like a lock that he's going to be on this team at some point next season. Maybe he becomes a starter. Maybe you don't trade for Contreras. But I think the real needs here are another arm. Maybe you don't need a starter. Tylor Megill made a rehab start on Sunday. 5 Ks, 3 2/3, 2 runs, 2 hits, 53 pitches. Maybe he gets one more, but it looks like Figgy Megill, who's thrown 98 on Sunday, could be back with his team within the next week. Trevor Williams is out, who pitches well again on Sunday. Been a solid fill-in, but those kind of guys get exposed, and I think you'd rather have him be that long man. Maybe, unfortunately, for Medina, that means he's on the way out and Trevor Williams takes his spot. But good to have Megill on the path back. Jacob deGrom started throwing. We expect him to be back maybe around the 4th of July. He'll get at least, 3 to 5 rehab starts, you would think, and they'll start off slow with a couple innings and expand from there. But by the next week, it should be Bassett, Walker, Carrasco, Megill, Peterson. Peterson wasn't great, but again, Steve Cohen said it, Figgy. He said, usually I would tune out when we're losing and there's no way to come back. Now you can't turn the TV off. These Mets fight back. They did it again Saturday. Pete Alonso, he's got to be in the MVP conversation.
Without a doubt.
He is just fantastic. 2 homers on Saturday. Starling Marte's been great. Lindor's out up to 260. Eduardo Escobar looks like he might be out of his slump. He had a big sac fly on Sunday. But, the Mets are starting to hit despite a couple of cold days Thursday and Friday. It's almost like they needed those. It's like this team needed adversity, and losing a couple in a row after cakewalk against the Phillies and Nationals with sweeps was kind of good for this team. And I think this was a very productive series split for the Mets before they head to San Diego. San Diego? I tried to say Diego and Diego in one and had a stroke. The Padres and the Angels coming up. This was nice to split with the Dodgers here.
Yeah, and we keep harping on exactly what this team is made of. It's made of veterans. It's the oldest team in baseball for a reason. You have a manager like Buck Showalter. And by the way, we also have to bring up the whole Buck Showalter knowing the rules.
Oh, yes. How did I forget that?
I mean,
unbelievable. Did you know that rule?
I knew of.
You do it because you've been coaching teams that have been down by 10 runs.
So it was funny because I didn't see the game at the time, and I just saw the SportsCenter highlight, and you could see Buck just hanging over the rail and going, it's got to be 6 runs.
Here's my situation. Harts, you were with me, right? We were at Ugly Duckling. We were quacking our way through some vodkas, and I'm like, what is going on here? What's this delay? And I tweet, everyone's tweeting that was the rule. Figgy, that's dumb. Come on. One, it's dumb that the Dodgers in a 5-run game are using a position player, but it's even dumber that you can't use one when it's 5 or less, because I feel like that's a fun part of baseball when you see an infielder throwing 62 miles. I mean, it's what Doc Gooden's going to be. His velocity on old-timers game is what we're going to see, but I feel like that's kind of I don't know, I can't even say outdated rule, but it's a rule that doesn't make a lot of sense. But Buck, again, outsmarting the umpire.
Listen, you're looking at baseball now in a very strange way where you're seeing 4 times a week position players pitching now in these games that are getting out of hand because everything is tailored for the offense, right? You want more offense. They've got bigger bases. They're trying to do everything to make the offenses click because that's what sells tickets. People want to see offensive-minded games. Pitching has still gotten better and better every year. You're seeing more strikeouts. You're seeing the ability for these guys to throw the ball harder with tighter spins and everything else. So I think we're at a break point here where those old-fashioned things like a Buck Showalter, who has been through all these situations before, that he knows the rule book without having to go look for the rule book, really is a breath of fresh air because that would have got overlooked by the last 2 managers, and no fault of theirs, but you haven't experienced it. That was a reason why guys like me, and we were in the minor leagues, they told us 500 innings so you can experience everything, the ups, downs, when things go right, when things go wrong, how to get through a cold streak, how to deal with having a good 5 starts in a row and then you get bombed. How do you deal with that? So you don't want to learn that lesson at the big league level. We saw that with Steven Matz. He came to the big leagues rather quickly, and he kept saying, in year 4. The game was speeding up on him, and he had to get a mental skills coach to help him. So those are the kinds of things that you can see. Buck Showalter is just his guidance for this team is like they know no stone is unturned, that this guy has done it all, and there's just a whole sense of this team that, you know what, no matter what the score is, hey, just keep with the approach, keep with the at-bats. Whoever's coming in the pitch, we got their back. There's a cohesiveness like never before, and this is something that we said for like the last few years. Without having a team captain, you feel like, who's the real leader in the clubhouse? It's undoubtable the leader in the clubhouse is Buck Showalter, and he doesn't even have to be in the clubhouse for these guys to have that peace of mind that the leadership is there.
And he says it was the umpires that notified him. He didn't notify. I still think it was him. I still think he knew. Although if you're the other manager, you don't want to tell them the rule because you want the position player to pitch so you can score more runs. Because we could use the more insurance.
It still messes up because you want to waste another bullpen guy for the next game, which wound up maybe coming into play.
That's a valid point. That's a good point.
That's the whole reason why the managers sometimes will put out a guy as a decoy.
You're not going to put in Ministry. Who's the guy that came in? Ministry?
We had a situation this weekend, the same kind of thing, where the guy in the on deck circle was standing there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not even a position player. That's a pitcher that's coming up. I go, why don't we walk this guy and pitch to the pitcher with bases loaded instead of dealing with this guy who's a pretty good hitter? Those kinds of things always happen. There's always that gamemanship, and when you have a veteran manager like Buck, he's seen it and done it all.
Zach McKinstry was the guy who tried to come in and pitch. So Buck does it again. The Mets split the series. They got, a bizarre week here because these start times are getting out of hand. I mean, you need to really look up. Listen to this. So Monday at the Padres, we'll see Carrasco. By the way, 6-1 versus Snell. Good pitching matchup.
Yeah.
Carrasco has really done well, and that
Snell
was
still doesn't have a win.
yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Why
That's,
does Tampa Bay always win in their trades?
that's
They just knew something.
they're geniuses.
They knew something.
It's unbelievable.
He hasn't been the same guy since.
That was cool. Carrasco's dad there, which for the first time, which is crazy when you think about it. He's been around for a while, and he hadn't been there, so that was fun to watch that. But 9:40 at San Diego, and glad I didn't end up going with this Ranger playoff run because I was planning to do this whole West Coast trip and did not expect the New York Rangers to be 2 wins from the Stanley Cup Finals. You can hear about that on Up in the Blue Seats podcast. 9:40 Tuesday,
Shameless plug.
9:40 Wednesday. Listen, you got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Thursday is an off day, and then Friday, listen to this. So we go from 9:40, 9:40, 9:40 to Thursday at the Rangers game, Friday at the Angels, 9:38, Saturday at the Angels, 10:07, and then Sunday at the Angels, 7:08. Can we make up a exact time? I mean, what are you doing here? I mean, 9:38, 9:40, 10:07, 7:08. Figgy, the schedule this is almost like the Yankees game at 11 a.m. on Sunday. People are still sleeping in the game. I'm like, it's the third inning. I'm like, it's only 12 o'clock. When did this game start? What is it, Patriots Day in New England?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the London games in the NFL. Remember that? And the games were starting in the middle of the night, almost 7 o'clock in the morning.
People are 10 mimosas deep, and Blake Bortles is throwing in his third interception of the half.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that you find that every stadium, every team kind of has their ability to control that start time. And some of them are sponsored by certain, venues. Like we used to have one 7:07 because 7-Eleven had sponsored. So
I could get down for that if you're giving out Slurpees at the game. That's
said,
fine.
Why didn't you have it at 7-Eleven then instead of 7:07? How hard is that? Duh. But there's a whole bunch of things that go behind it, and especially when you're in the entertainment district of Los Angeles, you find that they find ways to just do whatever the hell they want to do out there.
Kanye West starting a concert at 8:08. I mean, his stadium.
There you go.
It's going to be 8:08 p.m. All right. Well, good luck to finding out when the first pitch is. Just keep SMY on your TV like an hour before and hope you know when the first pitch is going to come. All right. Well, later in the show, we'll have Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy. We'll have Stump The Baldie, where Harts will give me Mets trivia and see what I could get. But let's go into next here on Amazin But True, chicken nuggets. All right, this segment's sponsored by Chicken Nuggets. It's literally just Mets nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
Straight up, because that's what we eat every week, Chick-fil-A, getting the chicken strips. So Mets nuggets for the week. As I bite into my nuggets, Max Scherzer's dog bit into his hand. Mm-hmm. You like that? That's why they pay me the big bucks. All right, that's why Max Scherzer had to come out and say this. He said, this will have no effect on my rehab, and it's literally a non-story. My dog, Raffia, hurt her leg in a run. She was howling in pain. Went to calm her down by putting my hands on her. When I did, she bit my right hand. Fortunately, it wasn't a bad bite. I took a day off throwing and was able to toss the next day. So you have your cats bite you all the time. Our old friend Sarah McCrory had her face clawed off by her cats. So you have experience with this. You can experience as a baseball player who's got bit and a human being who's got bit by
Listen, 99% of the time you have already learned to do things with your left hand when there's any kind of danger involved if you're a pitcher. We have guys all the time that are out there throwing the football around. They want to try to make a one-hand catch. Do it with your damn left hand. Don't do it with your right hand. You want to avoid any kind of opportunity of injury. But, it's a family pet, and he felt like, he can console her, and the hand that, I guess, bit the hand that feeds him.
There you go. Look at that dad joke. And I can't say dogs are better than cats this time because it was the literally dog that did it.
He's fine.
I'm team dogs, and the dogs aren't helping my favor here. Dom Smith is a dog, but he's got sent to AAA. I think it was time. I think maybe he gets his swing back. Unfortunately, his trade value right now, I think, is at an all-time low. You probably should have. And this topic comes up because they're playing the Padres this week. I was not one that would have been infuriated by that trade that came out.
Hosmer and Paddock.
Hosmer, Paddock, and Pagan, who's been a solid reliever who could probably helped this team. Paddock's been nothing, but Hosmer's hitting 300. Hosmer's DH. Maybe you don't end up making a trade for another bat if they do that deal. That deal looks a whole lot better for the Mets now that Dom Smith is AAA, but a likable guy, but you can't be in the big leagues at 180 no matter what your playing time is. And I know emotionally, mentally, it was probably hitting him, but I think the Mets had to do that, and he had an option left for them to do it.
Listen, this regime is also different, right? They're not playing favoritism. They're not, checking the pulse of the fans. They're doing what they have to do to continue to win ball games. They're trying to put the best 26, 27, depending on the doubleheader or whatnot. They're trying to put the best 26 players in uniform. And Dom Smith at the time, he'll be the first one to tell you he wasn't, doing or making the most of his opportunities. You always kind of feel like when things are going well, you want to have more opportunities. When things are going poorly, it's like the rarity of getting out there and starting a game. And it's like, oh, well, I'm really not a left fielder. No, you've been playing left field for 3 years now. It's not because you're not playing first base that you're not hitting. So, yeah, we wish him well. He's a real good stand-up guy that you want to see do well. You want to see him have the opportunity to do it. Sometimes you got to take a step back. I mean, that's still a thing. It shouldn't be like frowned upon. Like when these guys go for a little bit of more seasoning, a little bit more development. Maybe he was trying a new swing. Maybe we see all these guys with these new techniques of doing things. He might have been trying a new swing. Might have went to go see JD Martinez's hitting guru in California and try to get more power. That happens to a lot of guys. So whatever it is, Dom Smith's too good of a hitter to be hitting what he was hitting. Bottom line is this. He goes down there, no pressure, gets his swing right, and, he'll be back up here to help him. It'll be, again, like the Mets have made a trade. And when you make a trade to come back in July, and you may have a guy like Dom Smith's bat and glove coming up for you. You got DeGrom, you got Scherzer. I mean, you're looking at an abundance of riches and normally we would be panicking and going off the deep end about these things. This new regime has put this team in a place to contend, even though when they don't have their best.
In the words of the great philosopher French Montana, don't panic. Don't panic. You like that one? Harts is shaking his head. That one. I mean, it also. I got a fortune cookie that said "Don't panic," and I tweeted at French Montana. He once liked the tweet back when I had hair. Anyways, speaking of underwhelming, because you were saying something was underwhelming there. The Johan Santana ceremony, very underwhelming at the game on Tuesday, where his son. I get the story. It's cool. It's your son. Maybe he's a future big leaguer throwing out the first pitch. Johan should have thrown that to Josh Tolley. You brought Josh Tolley out there. He should be catching Johan's pitch. It's a moment. Just kind of, they just showed a video. It's just, I love how the Mets are embracing alumni. I love how the Mets even did this. But I was hoping for something more. I just had to throw that in there on Tuesday. Would have liked Johan. They relive a moment. Orozco throws it to Gary, and that's a moment. I felt like the Mets didn't do that much justice. And they did it the day before he did it. I get Wednesday's a 1 p.m. game and less fans are there. But I don't understand the 10-year anniversary and doing it the day before. You could have actually did it. Anyways, weekday promotions are another thing I've talked about with Mets fans during the week. Figgy, the Mets don't do them. They only do them on the weekends. Don't you think, by the way, I got the sidewalk chalk I was able to secure.
Nice.
So maybe we'll write something on the walls here and cause debauchery.
And make sure to put your name to that, too.
Yeah, we'll set it up for Joel Sherman and John Heyman on the show on Tuesdays. We'll chalk their names, and it'll be like a kindergarten show. But anyways, don't you want to bring more people out during the week? And by the way, weekend promotions are limited this year. And in some ways, that's a good thing. It's a team you want to watch. You don't come out for the bobblehead. You come out to watch the best team in the National League. But I feel like bringing in people during the week, give out something cool during the week.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find ways to mix it up and give people reasons to come out to the ball games. While kids are still in school, I think is why they don't have the promotions, right? So weeknights, it doesn't make sense to go all the way out there and spend that money during the week. That's why the weekends are the big sellers. Once you get past June 24th, which is usually when school's let out, then you'll see a difference probably in the promotions department. But why waste those promotions? Why do those in that sense? And also, I think it sets up, depending on how the team is doing, there's more opportunities to do more promotions down the line. And so that's where you'll see those weekday ones where if there's, for some reason, a lull and they can't bring in as many fans, you'll see that department making that move to get more people in the building. 2006,
the chant that lit up Metsland was, Jose, 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 Jose. We can start a band here. Harts play some Harts. You got to bring your drums in studio and do some drumming action during the show. A new chant has emerged at Citi Field that I noticed this week in right field. Marte, 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 Marte. And as the fans were doing it, he was conducting them like my Peter Horton, I think my high school marching band director, Mr. Horton. Shout out to Mr. Horton.
Whoa.
Was conducting the band. You knew I was in marching band.
No. We didn't know enough about this marching band, Jake. And what was your instrument of choice?
I played the clarinet for a while, and then my sophomore year I switched to the tenor sax. The transition, like going from a third baseman to a pitcher, was very difficult for me because I couldn't remember the steps and the notes, so I would just remember the steps because there's times where you crash into people and you end up throwing up on a Saturday afternoon because you only had Pop-Tarts in the morning. And
how is this not a segment? How is this
Marching Band Chronicles to the beat of the drum?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I did throw up one Saturday because you're there 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You got the show at night. Trumbull High was very intense, but I used to mimic the conductor at the marching band boutique or bouquet, whatever it's called, boutique they had every year. I went up to all the parents and Mr. Horton himself and made fun of how he conducted because he would sweat and lose his mind. Anyways,
back to Marte and
back to Marte.
The fact that he was conducting the crowd.
He's lovable, Figgy. I love this guy. The fans love this guy. He throws balls. He conducts. He gives the fan, he's very in tune with the fan base, and that's a good sign in his first season. He's backing up hitting since he went on the bereavement list when he unfortunately lost his grandma. He's been great. And he's a likable guy. The fans are on board, and I'm on board with the Marte.
Yeah, he gets it because I'll tell you what you learn from playing in Pittsburgh. The fans are everything. While your team is not doing well, the fans still came out and supported that team. I never forget that while I was there, it had been 11 straight years, not because I was there, but at that point, 11 straight years that they were finishing under 500. And what did they do? They didn't moan about it. They made a bobblehead, a Charlie Brown bobblehead in the black and yellow shirt, very famous of Charlie Brown, because what is he known as? The lovable loser. And everybody kind of embraced it. So it wasn't a thing that, they would boo the fan. The fans wouldn't boo their players. They still cheered them on. They still, hey, we tried. It's a very different atmosphere. It was a beautiful ballpark. We're all in this together. Losing sucks. We know you guys are trying. The effort is there, but it just wasn't a talented enough team to compete with the other teams in the National League Central. So he had learned from that. Playing left field in that ballpark is very huge, and the fans are right there on top of you. You interact, you talk, you pass the time by trying to be more likable than to be somebody that just ignores people the whole time, and then you get things thrown at you and cursed at. You what is it? You get more bees with honey than with vinegar. That's what it is.
Is that a saying?
Thank you. Harts, he's 12.
Yeah, I have Burt's Bees. I was about to pull out of my pocket, get apply some chapstick here.
They're not sponsoring you, Jake. Stop.
Can you guys send me some chapstick?
Freaking time he puts his chapstick on, we got to hear about it.
Anyways, speaking of guys who might get booed, the Mets will finally face him, Noah Syndergaard. The Angels this weekend. Looking forward to that. He's been getting pounded since he made fun of the Mets combined no-hitter. He's been terrible. And you don't really root for guys to fail, but I'm rooting for him to fail. I'm not rooting for him to do well. The Angels lost 10 games in a row. Some of those games coming against Joe Girardi and the Phillies. Or should I say, no Joe Girardi. How about that? Did you think that was too early, the right time? We mentioned about last week he was on the hot seat after the sweep to the Mets. He made some questionable managerial decisions. How about Girardi being gone? Do you think this maybe sparks the Phillies, or are they already finished?
Well, that's what you're looking for it to happen, right? You're looking for that to happen because the team is too many talented hitters in the field. But for a team that is, setting themselves up for failure, it's been the bullpen from day one with Girardi.
And they were swept, by the way. The Phillies swept the Angels, so the Angels didn't win those games. The Phillies swept 3-0 without Girardi.
Yeah, well, that's what you're looking for is something to change, and just if it's the mindset, it's just probably the message. Because the talent is the same. They didn't change any players, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe it's just hey, go out there and have some fun rather than the pressure of we're underachieving. Mm-hmm. So it's very early in the season still. You can turn some things around, and, you're looking up in the standings and you're 11, 12 games behind the Mets. That makes it very difficult to think, it's even possible. But it all starts with that first series sweep for them against the Angels.
Yeah, they won 4 in a row. They've won their last 4, and they're still 25-29. And 11 games out. Coming up next on the program, we play Stump the Baldie on Amazin But True. All right, it's Amazin But True, our first installment of Stump the Baldie. Nelson Figueroa there, Jake Brown here, and our producer Andrew Harts. is going to give me Mets-themed trivia and see if he could stump the big fella, Stump the Baldie. We're going to have to come up with a better name for that segment.
No, I like that.
You like Stump the Baldy?
Yeah, Stump and Baldie.
Because you can't say Stump the Podfather. That's dumb. You can't say Stump the King because that's dumb. So we'll do Stump the Baldy. Harts, take it away. How many do you got for me? 5?
All right, so I've got 6, but I'm going to give you one cookie.
six-pack.
Yeah, a little 6-pack
I love
here.
cookies.
So you're going to get a cookie question to start off. So it's going to be a literal cookie question. The Mets traded for Carlos Cookie Carrasco in 2021. Name 2 of the 4 players the Mets traded away.
Andres Menes, who's hitting 307 with 24 ribby steaks and 9 homers, I believe, who's killing it. And Ahmed Rosario is the other one.
There you go. Also Josh Wolf and Isaiah Green. So
Those 2 I would not have gotten. We'll have to check out their stats. I have no idea what they're doing, but congrats to Jimenez. Listen, the Mets are winning, so I'm not that mad about that. All right, 1 for 1.
you got your cookie out of the way. Now we're going to get into it. The Mets swept the Chicago Cubs in the 2015 NLCS. Name 3 of the 4 starting pitchers who got the win in the games.
The 3 Mets starting pitchers. Okay.
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4 starting pitchers. 2006.
Nope, 15.
2015, sorry. 2015. So Noah Syndergaard,
That's 1.
Jacob deGrom,
That's 2.
Matt Harvey.
That's 3. You want to go for the 4th?
It was a starting pitcher, the 4th one?
Starting pitcher.
Starting pitcher 2015. Why am I forgetting that rotation right now off the top of my head? Who am I forgetting?
You got it right already, so it's fine, but this is just
Who is the 4th?
Bartolo Colon.
Oh, Bartolo
Big
was
sexy.
in the playoffs starting. I forgot about that. Did he go game 4? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's a big contention thing.
Yeah.
Bartolo came in relief.
I forgot about that. All right, so I got 2 for 2. Here we go.
There you go, 2 for 2. Now we're getting a little tougher. What's Buck Showalter's full name?
Oh, isn't it like Norman or something? William?
Close.
It's William, right?
No.
What is it?
Dude, is that your guess?
Oh, it's like Norman.
Stay off the
Rockmeyer
computer.
or
Stay off the
something.
computer.
Trying to type.
It's some long.
We can hear you.
No. We got video evidence here.
In this Google world.
I thought it was Norman or William or something. I don't know.
His full name.
His full name.
Full name.
How about just his first? What do we need his middle name for?
No, he's got 2 names.
Because it's an epic.
Buck
It's an
is
epic name.
the nickname.
I'm gonna say William Norman.
Close.
You're not far off. William Nathaniel Showalter III.
That should be half credit for that. I got William.
0 credits.
And I knew it was an N. It was Nathaniel, not Norman. All right, 2 out of 3. I could say 2.5 out of 3.
All right. We're going to see how well you know your podcast co-host here. Nelson Figueroa pitched on 6 teams during his MLB career. Name all of them.
All right. Started with the Diamondbacks, Phillies, Brewers, Pirates, Mets, and Astros.
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah.
Reel that off pretty easily.
Look
All
at
right.
that. Simple.
All right.
And a Taiwan as well.
All right. Well, you know.
You know what I mean?
There's the extra credit.
That makes up for not knowing Norman or Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
3.5 out of 4.
All right. Next one. Max Scherzer has 2 different color eyes. What is this medical condition called?
Oh, it's some like long name. It's like Stethakopoulos or something. It's like my old Greek landlord's name,
Jesus.
Odysseus Georgakopoulos.
Oh my God.
I don't know. A stethoscope. I don't know.
Yeah, stethoscope. He has
exactly what it
stethoscopes in
is.
his eyes.
It's a long word though, right?
It is.
Okay, I don't know it.
Heterochromia.
Heterochromia. Don't tell the
Heterochromia.
Tampa Bay Rays about that.
Too different.
Heterochromia?
Heterochromia iridum.
I wouldn't got that if you paid me. Heterochromia. This
Not even
can,
the Spanish
can,
Academy.
yeah, can, we,
It's the
can we
Spanish
do that in the academy?
Medical
How do you say
academy.
this disease in Spanish?
Exactly like
Heterochromia
Iridum.
iridum. That is a tongue twister. All right, that's a ridiculous question, but fine. I'll get it wrong. I don't consider that.
Name
My Mets
one
knowledge,
celebrity
though.
who has the same.
Cyclops. I don't know.
Cyclops.
That's only one eye.
That's one eye.
Is an actor?
Yes.
They have the same disorder.
He's a very famous actor.
Christopher Walken.
Yes.
There you go.
Went to Hofstra grad school.
There you go.
All right, I'll say I got that wrong. 3 out of 5 out of 5. That's
You did get it wrong.
we get more Mets trivia, not eyeball trivia.
That's
I have
about
terrible
that's
vision.
about Max Scherzer.
That's
on
a
there.
long
All right.
Stethoscopulus, whatever.
All right. So this is
not Steph Coppel.
Heterocopoulos.
Here's your last question, and it's straight up Mets trivia.
Give me Mets.
Okay. Everyone knows that Mr. Met is the official mascot of the Mets, along with Mrs. Met. Name the other two mascots the Mets have had in their history.
I didn't realize that they had other mascots. You know this?
Stump the Baldie.
You don't know this.
The Baldie has been
This
stumped.
isn't Mets tree. You got mascots and eye diseases. Come on. And names. Next time. All right. Next time we're going to prepare actual legit questions.
These are legit questions.
One is an animal.
The Highlanders.
That's who the Yankees used to be.
I don't know. I couldn't even have a dog.
You're not far off.
A Doberman.
It is a dog.
A puppy,
one
a
is
poodle.
dog, one is a animal.
A German Shepherd, a parrot, a flamingo.
Nope, just gonna keep
I'm just
naming
naming things off the sand.
off your shirt.
Elephant.
It's Homer the Beagle
Never knew that. What year was that?
and Metal the
Metal
Mule.
the mule.
What generation was this in?
Mets generation.
1962? Was it the first year?
It is what it is.
All right. Well, on non-mascot name questions, I was undefeated. Diseases questions. On regular questions, I was all right. So I say I did 100% normal. Next week, you're going to give me normal Mets trivia.
I don't know.
I thought I did well besides the absurdness.
Well, besides the cookie question and something that happened 7 years ago. Okay.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, I'll take my 3.5 out of 6. Was that 4.5 out of 6?
Sure.
I'll take my
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
1,600 on my SATs.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
And we'll
Jake.
go to the Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy next on Amazin But True.
Bienvenidos, mi gente, a la Academia de Español del Nelson Figueroa. I love Jake's blank look. As soon
I'm going
as
to
I
start
said
saying your name like that. Jake Brown here with Nelson Figueroa.
that. When I did MLB Network, all my friends were like, use an accent. They'll keep you around. I thought
This
about
on the
it.
unedited version.
I
of
thought
Amazin
about
But
it.
True.
I thought about it. Let's see if it works.
You should.
Okay, first we're going to start out with the best team in the National League. That's going to be the phrase of the day.
Hell, this is going to be hard.
No, I think you got this one. This one's pretty easy. Ready? No. El mejor equipo de la Liga Nacional.
One at a time here. El Mejor.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. That's not respectful. El Mejor.
Equipo de la Liga
Equipo
de la Liga Nacional.
de la Liga Nacional. All right. El Mejor. El Mejor Equipa de Liga Nacional.
Nacional. No, not national. There's no
Steve
S.
Nacional.
El mejor equipo de la Liga Nacional.
El Mejor Equipo. Equipo.
El equipo. Yeah.
El Equipo.
No. El mejor.
El
equipo
Mejor Equipo.
de la Liga Nacional.
El Mejor Equipo de la Liga Nacional.
That's better.
Say Nacional again.
Nacional.
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 El Mejor Equipo de la Liga Nacional. That is a tough one. El Mejor Equipo de la Liga Nacional.
Nacional.
Let's see. You take a stab at Harts. Let's see if you have any Spanish in you.
El mejor equipo de la,
Equipo, right? Not
Equipo.
El.
Equipo.
el mejor equipo de la Liga Nacional.
He had less trouble with Nacional than
Yeah,
me.
you're a little tongue-tied, bro.
All right.
All right.
What's the word?
And I cannot believe we've done so many shows and we still never, ever, ever thought of using chicken parm.
Yeah, and the back crowd cheers
Chicken
after I had the biggest piece
Parmesan.
of chicken parm of all time on Sunday night. Shout out to Passabote. I need the Italian Academy to say their name. Passabote.
So chicken parm in Spanish is,
This is Parmesan, though, not parm.
yes,
The
not
word
just
is
parm.
Parmesan.
Correct. So it's pollo a la parmesana.
Parmesan.
Why do you become Golem all of a sudden?
Precious. My precious. My precious Parmesan. My precious Polo Parmesan. Now I'm
Not
Yoda.
polo.
Polo, how do you say it?
Pollo
Pollo.
a la parmesana.
Pollo a la Parmesana. My precious Parmesana. My precious pollo. How do you say my precious?
Mi precioso.
Mi precioso pollo a la Parmesana. Is that right? Pollo a la parmigiana.
See, that one's easy for you. You
Of
know
course.
why? Yeah, exactly. It's second nature. That's already
Devoured
it's in the
my
bloodstream
sleep,
already.
Literally.
That's-
my cholesterol's in the parmigiana. I am now Gollum, Yoda, and Parmigiana all in one. What a day at the Nelson Figueroa Spanish Academy. We'll close out this edition of Amazin' But True next. All right, Figgy, that says good night to episode 107 of Amazin' But True, our Mets podcast from the New York Post. You have gone 107 episodes with me. I don't know how you've done it.
Thanks to you, Jake and Andrew Harts, for producing the show. Give Amazin' But True a 5-star rating and write in a nice review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and give us a follow as well on Twitter at Amazin' But True.
So Wally Backman had some comments when Kelsey Whitmore was going to pitch against the Long Island Ducks, and apparently Kelsey had a scoreless inning against them. But unfortunately, Wally wasn't there. 86 Met. Might be in the Old Timers Day game related to the show, has been on the show, does not like Sandy Alderson. Sandy Alderson doesn't like him, and he's made that known, but he was not there to witness it. But Kelsey threw a scoreless inning on Sunday, right? Against
on Sunday, she got out there, and actually the last person that she got out in the inning to complete the task was former Met, Alejandro De Aza.
Ah, yes, one-time Met. So you guys get the last laugh, but he didn't get to witness it. So we need to make a trip to Long Island again with Wally is not sick and he's in the building.
They actually come to town this weekend. Next weekend we go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have the Long Island Ducks at the stadium in Staten Island.
Oh,
might be the game.
Harts should this be the one where Figgy throws me batting practice or Kelsey throws me batting practice? This could be the one. All right. Well, sorry to you, Wally Backman, for that. And I spent $200 at the thrift store in other news on Saturday, which is an obscene amount. This is one of the shirts.
Please tell me you still had $199 after you bought that one.
This was like 20. I think they were all 20. I wore the other one, which was my favorite, on Saturday with Harts. It's kind of this red flowery shirt. Got a lot of compliments on that one. But what do you think? This is themed. The Mets are playing in San Diego. I could wear this at the San Diego Zoo and look like I am employed there.
That's true. And then at the other token, remember, did we ever show Jake's mom talking about his clothing and his attire?
Oh, we didn't. That's going to be the web exclusive.
The fact that he has ramen soup.
He has ramen? Like, Mom, I guess I don't. See, I can't. See, you have to limit things you post to Facebook because that's their source of knowing what's going on in your life. So if I were to post ramen pictures, I'm going to get a call. Jake, like 37 seconds later, Jake, I just saw you posted a ramen hoodie on your Facebook. You have to return that. Mom, what do we send it back to Amazon or Taiwan? I don't even know where I got it.
Wish.
Yeah, we'll send it to Wish. Oh, wait till she sees the home run crunch. Oh. It's so hot out that I might wear those shorts to the Rangers watch party tomorrow.
Listen, you just warn me when you're wearing it because I don't want to be there.
All right, I'll make sure to wear it when you least expect it, and you'll see it. So can't wait for that. Thanks to Andrew Harts, Nelson Figueroa. I'm Jake Brown. Enjoy San Diego. Go to the Gas Lamp Quarter. You could hang out there and drink there, maybe meet some ladies there. They also have scooters right around town. You can use them on Lyft. I don't know why I'm promoting this, but I really had a good time on the electric scooters there. It's fun. And good luck to the Mets there and against the Angels. And screw you, Noah Syndergaard. Hope you lose to the Mets. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Amazin' But True. We'll talk to you next Monday. And as always, let's go Mets. In unison.